You know the motto of Collins University is, you give us 5 minutes and we'll give you a semester. Well, I took many semesters on the question of the Middle East conflict. I studied at the Middle East Institute at Columbia University. In fact, that's where I did my graduate work. And semester after semester, we discussed the Middle East conflict. I am well informed on this issue and would like to describe this issue for you. In a nutshell, this is what it is. Israel is strong, it is prosperous, it has a successful economy and a strong army, and it has absorbed millions of Jews from all over the world. The Palestinians, on the other hand, whose situation is far more difficult, simply want an autonomous state in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, which would allow them to exist with dignity as free people. The results of the last Israeli elections show that the majority of Israelis are not really willing to come to an agreement with the Palestinians. Arabs have lived in this land continuously for thousands of years. When the first Jewish immigrants arrived from Europe, the Arabs received them well and even taught them the local agricultural methods. The Jewish immigrants perhaps did not arrive with bad intentions, yet they gradually pushed the Arab peasants, falahin, out of their places of residence. They called it redeeming the land, geulat karka. However, there were already local inhabitants living in every place where the Jews were redeeming the land. And who were these local inhabitants? Palestinian peasants living in the area, some for generations, who were now suddenly expelled from their land. This is what happened in Emek Hefer, once called Wadi Harareth, in Nahalal, once called Mahalul, and in Ein Harod, which was once called Kfar Nuris. The Palestinians realized that the Jewish settlers were not interested in coexistence, but rather in establishing a Jewish state in the entire land. And what happened? The local Palestinian society was destroyed step by step. The Palestinians were not willing to agree to this. No group of people would agree to their own destruction. Jews declared that they wanted to establish a Jewish state so that they would no longer have to live as a minority in other countries. But what did this mean for the Arabs of Palestine? It meant they would become a minority in their own land in the Jewish state. Do you know anyone that would agree to become a minority and live under foreign rule? In addition, the Jewish armed forces, Etzel and Lehi, harmed and injured many Arab citizens. In 1947, when the UN decided to partition Palestine into two, for Palestinians and Jews, the Palestinians realized that they would not get a fair partition, since most of the countries in the Western world supported the Jews. The Arabs, who constituted 67% of the population and were the clear majority, were offered 45% of the land, while the Jews, 33% of the population, were offered more than half of the land. Clearly, the Arabs could not accept this offer. And yet, the Jews were not satisfied with what they received. First, they drove Arabs out of mixed cities, such as Tiberias and Haifa, and after that, they expelled Arabs from places intended to be part of the Arab state, such as Lod, Ramleh, and Jaffa, and they destroyed hundreds of Palestinian villages. This is how more than 700,000 Palestinians became refugees. Until this day, Israel has not allowed a single one of them to return to their homes. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel conquered the entire West Bank and Gaza Strip, ruling there by military force. This turned the remaining Palestinians into people living under a military occupation. Soon the Jews began to build new settlements in the occupied area. Look at the map. The positioning of these settlements was strategically chosen so that the Palestinians would not be able to build their own state, even in the small area that remained for them. In 1987, the PLO recognized the two-state solution, and in 1993 the Oslo Accords were signed. Most Palestinians accepted that agreement with joy, but was Israel willing to pay the price for peace? The answer is no. Israel continued to establish more and more settlements. Israel claims it is keeping the occupied territories for security reasons only. Yet if this were true, why are hundreds of thousands of Jewish settlers living there? Did you know that the Palestinians are one of the only people in the world that still live under an occupying regime? Palestinians cannot live a normal life like any other people. Do you know that Jewish rabbis even say that it is forbidden to rent houses to Arab citizens in the State of Israel or to give them work? And some even endorse the killing of non-Jews. All the Palestinians ask for is an independent state in an area that is 22% of the land, a state smaller than Cyprus. In 2002, the Arab world offered a comprehensive peace initiative, a call to normalize relations with Israel. And who did not answer? Israel. Almost 10 years have passed since then, and still there is no answer. Israel is not truly interested in peace. The Palestinians have been here for generations. They want to live in dignity and humbly, and to find a just solution for the many refugees spread throughout the world. Why can't a small state be established? A tiny state for Palestinians, smaller than Cyprus, next to the strong and prosperous state of Israel. Why can't a just solution be found for the suffering of the Palestinian people? That, in a nutshell, is the Middle East problem. I'm Adam Collins.